Sattler Files.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sattler Files, and this is Law and Order with Inspector Neil Royle, retired. Welcome back, Neil.
Hello, the other half of the Sattler. How are you getting along, Despene?
I'm going well, and yourself?
It's just all go here. We should be doing this outside in the sunshine, you realise?
I think we should.
Because it's glorious out there.
I know, but we are trapped in the studio, so we're going to have to make the best of it.
And we will.
We will indeed. Okay, a lot of talk, a lot of issues around law and order in the last week or so.
Yes, indeed.
One of them I want to talk about first, and that's the plebiscite, the same-sex marriage plebiscite. Can you tell me why we are spending all that money?
Well, I was going to ask you, why is it, okay, so the government decided that they will provide, $7.4 million for the nay vote lobby and $7.4 million for the yay vote lobby.
Right.
So, and they can have that money to advertise and canvass and discuss and public forums and dip until we're all compelled to vote in February of next year. Having said that, so they spend the $15 million, wherever it is, to do this. And then at the end of the day, because it's still got to go to government, it's still got to go to Parliament, still got to go to the elected members to vote on it, they could all at the end of the day say, no,
we're not taking any notice. It may be what the people want, but we're not going to take any notice.
Exactly. So the point is, why do they need to spend $15 million when they could show a little internal fortitude and a little bit of backbone and just decide they're the elected representative? If they don't know what the people who put them in that position of power really want, why are they there?
Exactly.
They have to know what's going on. This is a whole lot. This is a whole crock. It really is. And I don't think they must lie awake at night. These guys trying to think of ways to spend yours and my money.
I think they do. I really do.
So Shorten's expected to tell his MPs to reject the plebiscite, and perhaps if they give him half of the $15 million, it'd be a good idea for coming up with it. Because at the end of the day, as I said, they will do exactly as they want.
And they will.
And yes, they want to waste the effort and time and money. And I thought, who does this stuff? Who voted these people in?
Well, we ask that question every time, don't we, when another issue comes up?
I know.
Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the gun amnesty or buyback.
Yeah.
What is the story? They did this before, like in, I think it was 1996, after Port Arthur. There was a lot of toing and froing about all the guns that were out there.
Yep, and there always is.
And it's come back again now because of all the gun-related violence that's happening in Melbourne. They're saying there's a shooting every week now.
Yep, not surprised. And the federal government says that they've secured an in-principle agreement with state and territory police ministers for a new national gun registry. Look, one time I think I was in charge of the firearms branch in Western Australia. Yes. And at that time, there was a buyback and amnesty and all sorts of things going on from there. And they got a whole lot of firearms. They bought some back off people, and people could surrender unlicensed ones and not get prosecuted and all that sort of stuff there.
Dad kept this in the back shed, and I didn't know it was there. Yeah,
they kept in wardrobes and under beds and all sorts of things. And because they were unlicensed, or someone had found one, and Grandpa hadn't licensed for 100 years, or it is, they just hid it, because if you took it to the police station and handed it in a non-amnesty time, you get pinged for possession of unlicensed firearm.
Exactly.
So they go, we'll go and chuck it in the river. Can't do that. Or I should saw the barrel off. Or
saw the serial number off, or do something.
Exactly. But at that time, when I was involved in it all, there was many forums in this state and interstate, because I attended a lot of them, on a national gun registry. And there's no way known. It's like the national road rules. You'd think, seeing how we're all in the one country, all driving the same side of the road, that the laws would be similar, if not identical, for driving your motor car, but they're not. And so is the same for firearms.
Right.
It is so convoluted and involved. There's no way known that in my time there, in any case it might have changed, there might be a whole lot of different people involved, that they could agree on what was suitable for each of the states. They've all got their own ideas, and it's not that far removed from, I'll correct that, it is substantially removed from the American model, where the right to bear arms and all the who's is in the Constitution.
It is indeed.
But here there's still a growing lobby of people who want firearms, and you've got to ask the question, well, why do you need to have a firearm? All right, they can't all be primary producers.
No.
They're not all out there culling crocodiles and kangaroos and things.
And rabbits.
And all those horrible creatures. So why is the number of firearms coming into the scene increasing. I know the population's increasing, but the fire...
They say that more than 1 million new weapons have been legally imported since 1996 when they had that voluntary surrender.
Yep. And
what do we need 1 million firearms in the country for?
has there been 1 million more people come in? I mean, I don't own a firearm, do you?
No.
Does Howard?
No.
Anybody you know?
No, I don't actually.
Me either. Neither
I
do
don't know anyone who's got a gun.
And once upon a time, I know my father had a 22 and his father had a 22 and the uncles, they all had 22s and all went shooting rabbits and things, whatever they did. They all had them in those days there. But and a lot of those were handed down father to son and so forth in estates and so forth after these people passed away. And people accumulated firearms. They didn't necessarily want them. Then you had got to demonstrate your need to have one. So if you live in colourful downtown Mount Pleasant, why do you want a firearm?
Well, you don't want one, and you don't need one.
No.
One can only assume.
So they then...
But a million.
That's a lot,
million new guns or rifles or whatever they are.
Yep. And
how are they coming in? They're obviously coming through, goodness knows where.
If they know that there's 1 million... Well, they'd have to know they're through licensed dealers.
Yeah.
You would expect through imports and so forth and the federals.
Otherwise,
and
they'd be blocked as they hit the country.
Well, they wouldn't dare be saying there'd be 1 million unlicensed one out there because then they have lost control of border security and the rest of it.
Totally.
So, and would you believe the Justice Minister, Michael Keenan, he says the legislation tabled this week will also seek to set a 5-year mandatory minimum sentence for gun smuggling and increase the maximum sentence for convicted gun smugglers to 20 years.
Well, that should be a bit of an deterrent, one would think.
Oh, well, you think so. But when you consider that when the Coalition tried to do that early last year, Labor didn't support it and didn't go anywhere. So you've still got this toing and froing of I suppose the Nationals would have more firearm-type people in their bunch
you would think,
the others.
Being rural and farmer-supported.
So the amnesty that is yet to be worked out with the states and territories, but you can certainly go on Facebook and check it out on Linkline and Permalink and Twitter and all those sorts of things to see what they're all about and see what it's going to be. But yes,
the thing
indeed.
is you can go on the internet and buy yourself a gun.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know how
and
many...
Australia Post will deliver it to your door.
If they can disguise it enough so it was X-ray, it doesn't look like a gun. And people they've made them out of various things and various components and put them in a box and it looks like a sellotape dispenser and in fact it's a handgun.
Yeah.
So there's clever ways to do it if you're a crook enough and want to have...
Not that we are giving people ideas on how to skirt the law.
Exactly. And when these people do get onto unlawful and illegal firearms, they're not going to keep it in a drawer. They want to show people, don't they? Because that's where you get cases of people brandishing
so be hanging
firearms.
up over their bar.
Yeah, or hanging out the window of a car and waving it at somebody, as they do. So, I think it's important that they do on a regular basis have amnesties so that those who are in the situation where they've got a firearm they don't want anymore, don't know what to do with it, they can come and hand it in. And certainly there'll be a number of those which, when they put through the screening, may or may not be involved in offences. So, by all means, get them off the street. There's no need for all this. Get it on, bring it on.
Yep, bring it on.
Bring it on. You've got to buy them back, bring it on.
Yep, whatever. If they have to buy them, but it doesn't matter how they get them, just get them off the street.
Absolutely.
All right, moving along, our one-punch laws.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think? Not enough?
Well, no, they're not. Well, when people die through idiotic acts of one punch and so forth.
Even when they just hit their head on the curb as a result of a punch, it doesn't matter. It's still a deadly act.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, even though there's all the hue and cry about it, and there is lots, and there's plenty of aggrieved people, and there's plenty of those who make intelligent comment on it, including your good husband, about the one-punch laws being too weak, and they are.
I mean, you talk to the grieving parents of someone who's been hit once and died. Doesn't matter whether he was hit once or 20 times, he's still dead.
Exactly.
You've lost that child.
Exactly.
Or that brother, that uncle, that father.
And so someone gets 5 years for it because I was drunk at the time, or I didn't mean to, I didn't think I hit him that hard, or I did too bad.
Why is being drunk an excuse?
Indeed. The one-punch death laws were introduced in this state in 2008 with a maximum available sentencing of 10 years. Not one convicted assailant has received anywhere near that sentence.
No, they haven't, have they?
None.
Okay, so where the fault lies, what, with the judge?
The bench.
The bench.
All right, if the laws are there for up to, or it may be, or liable to, that's fine. Unless you make it mandatory, whereupon the bench has no option, it's mandatory, they must.
Yeah, they
must. Unless that happens, you might get up to 20 years jail. You might get 2 years jail too, because the discretion of the bench is there for the judge.
Absolutely. I mean, you get to the point where somebody who's spent time, so they time in lieu, so they've spent time on remand or whatever, by the time they get to court, they've probably got no time left and probably just get community service, which would not be very consoling for the family.
Well, especially, I suppose I can name a name, can I?
Yes, you can.
Well, remember Bradley Jones?
Yes.
He got 5 years for fatally assaulting his estranged wife.
Yeah.
What a hero he is.
Yeah.
So he fatally assaulted her and got 5 years for it. And what message is that to send to everybody out there that,
wife bashing is okay?
Yeah, well, it's only, you might get 20 years, but you might only get 5.
Yeah, you
might only get 3.
You won't have to serve it all.
Might
You'll
be
be
worth
right.
it.
You'll be right.
And as Howard has said, that the Bleeding Hearts stories...
Oh, they trot out stories all the time.
To mitigate will continue, in influencing the soft option members of the bench to go easy on the perpetrators. And they are cowardly crimes. There's no getting away from that. They are cowardly crimes. They try to have it as is it the coward's punch they called it, or
yeah,
but because they did away with the term king hit.
Yes, they
used to
did
be that once, didn't they?
Yes.
And then it became a coward's punch. Now that's the one punch laws. So have them by all means. Have the penalty as stiff as you like, but make sure the magistrates and the judiciary dish it out.
Well, everyone's got to be on the same page.
Yep.
Everyone has to be working towards that, but that doesn't always happen.
And I know when it comes to the economics of it all, it costs money to have people in prison. Let there be no doubt. There are people who...
There's not much room in prison these days.
And I hope it's as cramped as all, because let there be no doubt
it's a punishment. It's not meant to be a holiday.
Exactly. And prison is the only place suitable for some people.
Yes.
So get them out there and put them in.
Get them off the street.
Absolutely.
If they've done it once, they can do it again.
And they will. They will again.
And they will.
Yes.
All right. Let's just talk about our road toll, which is not a very good sign at all.
Yep. Well, it seems to be it's a daily occurrence, or sometimes a twice and 3 times daily occurrence.
Yes. Country roads, or it doesn't matter. It's still, and metropolitan. It seems to be happening everywhere.
Yep. So
what is it? People on drugs? What's going on, Neil?
Well, who knows? There's
high speed. What are these? What's the story?
When you look at, when it comes to when the police assess a crash and so forth, they have a set formula, and they go, is alcohol involved, tick the box, is speed involved, tick, tick. And of course, when it comes to speed, to crashes into trees and other vehicles and so forth out on country roads, the police invariably tick speed.
Driver fatigue.
Which is not the thrust of what the investigation is about, because once you get to 110 kilometres an hour, that's quite quick.
Yes.
And someone out in a country road doing the legal speed limit at 110 kilometres an hour, who falls asleep or swerves and misses a kangaroo or whatever and hits a tree.
A moment of inattention.
Yeah, the cops are still ticking speed.
Yeah.
Because they're doing 110. Well, yes, it's true. If they'd hit the tree...
Yes, it is high speed, but it's also...
It's lawful.
It's lawful.
If you hit the tree at 3 kilometres per hour and died, they wouldn't tick the speed box.
No.
But because they hit a tree at 110 kilometres an hour, they, look at the damage to the car. It must have been doing really, really well. And cars in this day and age, airbags and other things and all that they have here, they still fall to bits.
They do.
They're not designed to hit anything.
No, they're not designed to hit anything. People get, they're being cut from the wreckage. They're dying at the scene.
Yep.
This is, severe stuff.
So in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, when the cars had bumper bars that were like railway line, which were designed to protect the car, not to protect the person, it was quite humorous because they had all these things there which would save the very expensive motor car, but of course no one's restrained, so they all went out through the windscreen over the top and it rested, as they did. But now what are we at? Gingin is the latest one. On the Gingin Brook Road in near Gabby at 10:30 last night.
Yes.
That's about 90 k's north of Perth. The male passenger has survived, but he's in hospital for treatment.
So, we're looking at our...
it's 82 in regional WA.
82.
82 this year in regional WA.
What's a normal year? What would it be?
Oh, well...
Obviously less than 82.
I can recall the worst... Because I have, in my time in the police, with my heavy involvement in traffic matters and so forth, I kept a record of all these significant events that took place for the last 25 years. The introduction of 05, then 08, then DUI, then compulsory seatbelts, then all the RBTs, all the rest of it. And I think the worst year was 352.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is one a day.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was that heralded just prior to the invention of the Road Traffic Authority.
Right.
They wow, look at all these dead people. How come? Well, because no coppers are patrolling the road. They said, well, we get something going. And along came the RTA.
I actually saw 2 cops on motorbikes the other day. First time I've seen motorcyclists such a long time.
What time of the day was this?
It was, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, change of shift.
Was that what it is?
Probably going home. You don't know. I'm cynical because I don't see them either.
We are cynical because there is not enough police presence on the roads or in the suburbs or wherever they should be.
I had occasion to have lunch with a district superintendent during the course of last week in a district not far from here, and because I used to work there, and I had occasion to talk to him about how's it going and how big his district is and so forth. And the district is huge now, and this is Fremantle district, takes in Harvey, takes in Waroona, takes in Mandurah.
Really?
No extra cops. So I said to him, who's your traffic inspector and how's he handling it with his men? Haven't got one. Don't have a traffic inspector. So I don't know where the guidance is for that, or whose idea that was, and where it's going to go.
But as we've said before, and we'll say it again, if you see a police car on the road, you immediately obey the rules. You immediately stop doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, and that includes looking at your phone, driving unrestrained,
putting your stubby down,
or driving too fast.
I know. And it stays in your, what are the pundits and those that, the academics say that on seeing an enforcement officer on the road, it stays in your mind for about 3 minutes.
Is that all?
That's all.
It stays in my mind for a lot longer than that.
Because you're an honest person. See, the bad is keep looking in the mirror till he's out of sight, and then away they go.
And boom, off they go.
If they see another one in the next 4 or 5 days, it's some sort of blitz on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they think, I've seen my policeman for this month.
I saw a booze bus go past this morning. So the booze bus went past, then a police car with a trailer with all the bits and pieces,
all the cones and goodies.
The cones and everything. Yes. So somewhere down the road is a booze bus.
Yes, and there's 2
which won't bother me one little bit.
There's actually 3 of them, so they're all breath and drug buses. So they used to be called booze buses, and they wanted a new acronym for the breath and drug buses. So someone came up with bad buses, so that didn't see the light of day.
So what do they call them now? They're still booze buses.
Yeah, indeed. Everyone calls them booze buses, but they chest for drugs as well. So getting back to what we're saying, the overall road toll for the state at the minute stands at 129. How many days in the year have we had so far? September, so 129. And they still say that is among the lowest on record at this point of the year, but still 129.
Still 129 deaths.
Yep. And 82 of them in more than half, substantially more than half, in regional WA. Tells a story somewhere, doesn't it?
It does tell a story. It certainly does.
So for those of you out there, that's it doesn't matter where the speed limits are, and whether it's a 100k zone or a 90k zone or a 110k zone, or whatever it is, you still have to be acutely aware of what you're doing all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And I get a bit edgy when I'm out on country roads and so forth too, and I've been driving for a lot of years, but I always have a big, long look at who's coming towards me. Yeah. To see what they're doing as well as what I'm doing. Yeah. And you have to be...
you have to be totally defensive. When you're driving, it's not you, it could be somebody else. So you have to anticipate what they're going to be doing.
Yep, and be keenly aware of your surroundings. You know, what's it like? Is it foggy? Is it going to rain? Has it been raining? Is it likely to be kangaroos or other things gallop around the place up there? A big road trains or other things with drivers who are driving long distance who may not be keenly alert.
You don't want to be sharing the road with someone like that.
No, you don't. And you do really have to expect the unexpected out there, because all those numpties that cause things aren't as good a drivers as you or I.
Of course they're not.
Exactly. And good drivers kill bad ones.
They do.
Bad drivers kill good ones too.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've covered everything.
What with the tarpaulin?
Absolutely.
I would suggest.
You've been listening to Law and Order with Inspector Neil Royle, retired. Back shortly with more.
This is the Sattler Files.